Over the next few weeks, classics such as The Exorcist, which I'm reviewing right now, will be playing at my local theater, and hopefully I will be able to review all of them for you, but I make no promises. The Exorcist is directed by William Friedkin and was originally released in December of 1973, and it stars Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, and Linda Blair. The story is quite simple. You have a young girl, age of 12, who is somehow possessed by a demon. Her mother gets freaked out, obviously, and she calls upon the doctors, and after all of the medical tests have been exhausted, she calls upon two priests to come and exorcise her daughter, and let the fun begin. I saw this film for the very first time about a year ago when it was released actually in theaters, and it was due to the celebration of its release on Blu-ray. I recall going into the theater, I was very excited. I wanted to see this so-called classic, and turns out I really enjoyed it. And I went in this time hoping to enjoy the film at least as much as I had the first time, if not more. And thankfully, I enjoyed this film as much as I did the first time. This movie is at times a perfect blend of script, acting, and directing, and sound effects. Probably my favorite scene by far was the actual exorcism, which is just magnificent to say the least. One of the things I really appreciate about this film is that everything is done practically. There's no computer effects. All the things that are happening during the exorcism scenes or scenes before that where like chairs are moving or things are flying around and she's levitating, all of that is done with machines and wires and everything, and all the actors are trying to convey to you that they are scared shitless that she's being possessed. That is not an easy thing to do, and I gotta give credit to the actors because they do an outstanding job of just convincing that this shit is happening when it's really not. The only problem I have with the film is that it is a little bit too long and it does drag in some areas. Additionally, and not really flaws I'd say, just questions that came to mind when I was watching the film, there's never any real clear reason as to why or how this demon came into her, though I could have missed that detail. Also, there are times when she's in like demon mode and I was wondering why she didn't just jump out the window and escape because she wasn't tied to the bed or anything. It's a minor thing, but like, was she ever confined to that one space in demon mode? Like, did the demon not want to leave that room? I'm just curious. But besides those things, which are really nitpicks, this is a really good film that any film fan should see, and even if you don't like horror films, just check it out once. It's not gonna hurt you. So overall, 4 out of 5 stars. I don't see myself owning this film anytime in the near future, but you never know. Before watching this film again, I was thinking to myself, if this film was remade today, who would play the girl, who would play the priest and all that, and who would direct it? And I was thinking, is this the kind of film where if you get the right person or the wrong person, you have them be too over the top, and that is something to consider because during those demon type scenes, the girl could have been way over the top, but she played it cool. I mean, she played it convincing. Once again, not an easy thing to do. So props to you guys for making this film scary as hell instead of overly ridiculous and stupid.